Sharon Danley here with another 2-minute tip, and this week it's about how I'm currently doing my makeup for this 72-year-old face. And here's my makeup bag with everything in it that I could possibly need. I'm taking out what I need, like my brushes and my palette with eyeshadows and foundation in it, my magnifying mirror, and my long-handled brushes. Now I'm going to apply the Dual Finish Barrelle foundation with the sponge, and I'm going over it, not in a very detailed way, but just to kind of cover the canvas broadly, and then I will be more detailed a little bit later, but I'm concentrating on the center part of my face that gets the most wear and tear. So that's like just down the center, corners of the eyes, around the sides of the nose, the mouth, the chin, the upper lip, and then the sides of my face where the sun could get at it. And just continue to place it, as I said, in the broad spectrum approach. And my two eyes will start to look like pea holes in a snowbank, but that's just the way it goes, just the broad strokes. Okay, yes, two eyes or two pea holes in a snowbank. Now I'm going to go over my eyes with the sponge, and again, not be too detailed with it, but just give it kind of an overview. But I do make sure with the pointed end of my sponge to make sure I get around the underside along the lower lash line, because oftentimes it can appear a little bit red for us older dolls. And then I just, cover that in. As you can see, just make sure I get right up there to cover all the red. And now I'm taking the foundation on the foundation brush and being more detailed with my eyes and getting into all of the crevices and things. And now I'm going to mix together the highlight with my foundation to add a little brightness to the eye on the lid. And I'm just going around covering everything, every nook and cranny that I can find. And now I'm going to add just the highlighter to go over my lids especially, and in the corners of my eyes and around the trench, that dark rounded spot at the bottom part of my bag. I don't want to cover my bag itself because it stands out. It's wherever there's a shadow is where I want to put the highlight, and so that's where I put it. And with what's left on the brush, I just add a little bit down the center of the nose. Now I'm going to mix both the foundation and the highlight together, and I'm going to go over the entire eye again. And I'm using the dome brush and getting right into the corners and really pushing it on, like packing it in, especially in the corners. And this is what gives the long wear for the day, and it really helps to make the skin look smoother. And I do the same thing around the sides of the mouth and the sides of the nose. Now I'm going to take my kabuki brush and go into that couple of shades darker, same foundation, and use it under my chin to contour that, to darken it down a little bit, and cover over a little bit of jowl that I have going on there. And then I'm adding the same color on to the sides of my nose because my nose has become a little broader over time. And now I'm taking that same dome brush, and I have a couple of spots on my chin there, so I'm pushing it in with just the foundation. Just push, 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 and that should do the trick. And then I just kind of touch up wherever I think I need it. Just doing that. Okay, now I'm taking my little blush brush, and I'm going to combine both the pink blush and the orange eyeshadow together and put my blush on in a kind of a C shape up over the cheekbone, up into almost around the eye, almost like a C shape. Just wear it a little bit higher. And then I'm going to use that white, slightly shimmery color, and I'm going to go over the cheekbone just to give it a little bit of highlight. Not glimmer, glitter, or anything like that, but just a little bit of highlight, like a sheen. And now I'm pulling out my glue and my tweezers, and I'm going to add some a dollop of glue on the corner of my sink because it's non-porous. And then I'm going to take a flat-edged angled brush into that slate color, and I'm going to add my eyeshadow eyeliner because it's softer, it's more appropriate for this age range, and I can either keep it a little bit more defined or I can soften it up, which I often do because of the crepiness that I've gathered over the years to this point. And I love the flat-edged angle because it allows me to push right in along the lash line, because I don't wear mascara. If I'm wearing false lashes, why would I add mascara? It's not necessary. So again, I just push it in, and it doesn't take that long at all. And finishing up here, you can see my lashes. They've got a kind of a gray, dull look to them. Now I'm going to apply the glue to my lashes. See, putting the glue on the sink prior to putting on my eyeshadow liner allows for the glue to get a little tacky. And now I'm just spreading it along the strip of the lashes and more on the underside of the roll of the lashes. And I blow on it further to make it even more tacky, because that's the trick in false lashes. And if I think I have a little bit too much on, I lay it on my finger and wipe off any excess and just rub it away. Then one more blow on it to make sure it's tacky, and place it down in the center first. And then I do either the back end or the front end first. It doesn't really matter. Oh, that mirror. But I've had it for so many years. It's just part of me, as you can tell. Now, once I've stuck those corners down and it feels good, then I squeeze together my lash with the false lash, so that it brings my own lash right in with the false lash, and they become one almost. And then I push it up however I want it. If I want it to flare up a little bit, then I just push it up a little bit while it's still slightly damp. Or if I want it to stick straight out, I just leave it be. So now I'm putting on my second lash, again blowing on the lash to make sure that it's good and tacky. And again sealing down the ends. And then once that's done, sometimes it can be a little finicky, but that's just something you have to play around with and experiment with. And again, I push together my lash with the false lash so that it's nicely glued together. And then just push it up or do whatever I want to it, which I'm doing there, and that seems to be just fine. And now I'm taking my dedicated brow brush, it's a flat-edged angle, and going into a print dupe eyeshadow and drawing on the guidelines for my eyebrows. Now, unfortunately, in this lighting, it's halogen lighting, and it's not the very best, and having that mirror in front of my face doesn't help either. But there's other videos I have on this that are closer up. But the thing is, I always draw my guidelines because it's a whole lot easier than trying to wing it pardon the expression, uh, you know, to just try to wing it. It doesn't work as well as just drawing them in and then filling them in and then turning the brush on its side and drawing in the little hair-like strokes. It's almost foolproof to do it this way. Then once they're on, I check in the mirror, look straight ahead, and adjust in the front where I have to even up. I may have to raise or lower one or the other of them and just do that final bit of finessing and adding the hair-like strokes. And at the end, just the final bit of finessing that needs to be done. And then I'm good to go with that. Now I'm taking a fluff brush and I'm going to use a color similar to Coquette, and I'm going to go into the crease of my eye. Even though my lids are dropping, I still have a crease, so I still take this approach to it. But once I've got it in the crease, then I let my excess skin hang down as if I were talking to somebody, because you don't look like this when you're speaking to anybody. So I let the crease hang down and then go over top of it where I need to when my face is relaxed. So I'm sure any second now that's exactly what, yes, you see, now I go over top where it's relaxed to add that little bit in to raise the crease where it would have been normally. Now I'm going to take a broader fluff brush and I'm going into both the foundation and the highlight, and I'm going over top of the front end of my lids again, just to, you know, fix up if I had dropped any of the Coquette in that area. I just want to brighten that up a little bit more. It's adjustment as you go, and go around into the corners as well. Next, I'm going to take my gel pencil and I'm going to run it under the hot water to soften up the gel inside the pencil. And I'm going to just remove the excess water, and then I'm going to run that over my upper waterline. Most times, like during the day, that sort of thing, I use the gel pencil. But if I need extra bang and extra longevity, then I use the actual gel liner. Now I'm taking a flat dome brush and mixing the Coquette and the Brun dupes together for my underliner. And I just go straight across. I don't go up and around the end, I go straight out, just to add the definition to the lower lash line. I really believe at this stage of the game, that's an often overlooked area of lining that's really important for us, because somehow it just seems to bring the eyes out back more to a bit of an almond shape like they were in our youth, and it just seems to add so much more, in my opinion. Now I'm taking a fluff brush, and that same fluff brush that I did for the crease in my eye, and I'm just adding a little bit more of both the Coquette and the Brun, or whatever I feel like that day, or how much intensity I want or don't want. But I find that adding just a little bit more to the end of the eye just gives it what I need. And then of course I go back in with the shimmer and the highlight and do the corners of the eyes once again. Now we're on to the lipstick, and I'm wearing number 25, my Old Faithful for summer, and number 150 as a highlight. And notice how I wipe off any excess onto the wand so that I'm not putting on too much at any one time. And I love it because it's like I don't have to use a lip liner. So I just place everything where I need to on the outer side of the lip. I don't worry about the center yet. And just make sure that I've got the correction done that I need to do for my particular lip shape. And notice I'm not filling in except in the corners only. I'm just doing a little correction here. I always have to do that. And a little bit on the other side. Now see where I'm just making it a little darker in the corners only. This is what helps to make that 3D look. Darker in the corners and lighter in the center. So now I'm going to add the 150. And I'm not going to cover the lips. If I'm going to put the 150 on, I'm not going to cover it with red first. I'm just going to put the 150 right over top in the center. And this is what gives it a nice gradient for the lips that really does help to give that 3D look. Now you can do this as much or as little as you like. It just depends on your mood. And then I just blend it all in together. However you need, for whatever look you need for that day. Let that dry, and then I add the gloss that goes where the balm actually is what it's called that I put on. And we'll be adding that now. And that's it. Now all I have to do is my hair.